So I've been traveling around the world for the last few years. I get a lot of messages on social media asking me how I do it. What is my method to be able to travel around the world for such a long period of time? I've lived in the Philippines, I've lived in Thailand, I lived in Bali in Indonesia, I've lived in Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Australia, England, you name it. I've lived all around the world. And so I want to make this video today to reveal how I am actually able to do that, because I've done a little bit of research and not that many people do what I do. So it's probably best if I make this video coming straight from the horse's mouth so I can reveal everything to you, then potentially help you do the same. So the first thing you have to understand is that there's two ways of making money online. You're either selling something low ticket or you're selling something high ticket. Those are the only two ways. You could look at it any other way you want, but typically you're selling something either for a small amount of money or a high amount of money. And so what I've been doing over the last few years is selling a high ticket service. And I've done that for the last few years, and I've been selling different services over those few years. So I like to think I'm really good at selling high ticket services. And the same approach can also be applied to a high ticket product. It's just the way that you're delivering that thing. If it's a service, you're typically doing the work, or you hire a team to do the work. If it's a product, it's infinitely more scalable, but you have to build the product, you might need inventory, you have to figure all that as well. So there's pros and cons to doing both. I have actually done both. And from my perspective, I personally think that services is the easiest thing to sell, especially a high ticket service, if you're providing enough value, and then you can move on to selling more of a product. So where I'm coming from at this point is that I've been selling a high ticket service over the last few years. And if you want to start making money online so that you can travel the world, the fastest way for you to do that is to sell a high ticket service. Because if you sell something low ticket, you have to sell that low ticket item to far more people than if it was a high ticket service. Think about it for a second. If you sell something for $5,000 a month, you only have to sell to two people. You only need two customers to be making 10K a month. And that is going to be totally life-changing if you've never made 10K a month before. But if you want to make 10K a month and you're selling a $100 product, well, how many sales do you need in order to get there? Pause the video, do some math. I'm sure you can figure it out. So if you're going to sell something that is high ticket, it means that the amount of effort that you have to put in order to sell that thing is considerably less, which means that you have more time to either build your business and make it bigger and better, or you have more time to spend enjoying a lifestyle, traveling around the world, building your relationships, networking with the right people, enjoying your hobbies, whatever it is that you want to do, because you only really need two customers a month to make that 10K per month. And if you have a recurring service, well, that is continuing over a period of time. And this is how I've been able to travel the world for such a long period of time. Like I said, I've lived almost everywhere. I've spent long periods of time in these countries and only leaving them when I need to because of visas and having to renew visas and things like that. But I'm able to do that. I'm able to spend my money to travel and to live in different places, rent different properties, things like that, because I sell a high ticket service. And I've been doing that over the last few years. Now, that's not to say that selling something low ticket is bad. In fact, I think you should build a business, assuming you are building a business, around selling both of these things. But if you're just getting started, you don't even need to start a business. So you can just start by working for someone else, selling a high ticket product or service, or helping them book meetings for that high ticket product or service, which is an extremely lucrative career path that a lot of people don't actually talk about. I myself have a company where I sell a high ticket product. I also have high ticket services because we have different offers within the company now. So depending on the pain point that a potential customer has, we can sell them the right offer that is going to help them solve that pain point. And so we have different products and different services in order to do that. Now, my company is infinitely more scalable because we have a product embedded into this process, right? If it was just services, it's very difficult. We have to have lots of staff and things like that in order to scale it. And we can only take on a certain amount of customers in order to scale the business. Because we have a product, it's infinitely more scalable, which means that someone can come in and buy 100 units of that product or 10,000 units of that product, and it's the same fulfillment. So the deal size could be absolutely massive. And so what I'm trying to get at here is that I would always be interested in meeting someone who can connect me with people who would buy from us. And so this is what I've really been doing over the last few years. Almost all of the clients that I've had, I've helped them land meetings. Previous to that, in my career, when I was working in business development, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was always trying to book meetings and land deals. And I ended up getting so good at it that I landed a $5 million contract for my previous employer for a cybersecurity company. And then I took those skills and I just put them into my business without even really knowing it. And I just started booking meetings myself and was landing deals. Now, they weren't $5 million deals, but they were 5-figure deals, which allowed me to scale my company to multiple 6 figures so that I could travel around the world. Now, my priority when I quit my job and built my business was always about freedom. So although I've had the fancy cars and I've lived in the penthouses, most of the money that I spend just goes back into my business. That's really where I spend my money. And the rest of it is just done traveling cheaply around the world, because that's just really what I think is the definition of freedom. Not having cars that's going to tie you down, not having property that's going to tie you down, being able to invest all that money into myself or into my business, into my team. Helping my team buy those things is the most fulfilling thing that I could have ever imagined. Knowing that my team is able to pay their rent and help their family and things like that, that's more fulfilling to me than buying sports cars and property and things like that. Yes, I'll get into all that kind of stuff later on in my life, but right now, the money that I'm able to make goes back into my business. And it's all because I've been able to land high ticket deals and close them. So in my own business, I'm closing them. For my previous employer, I was helping to close them. And now, of course, I help my clients do the same thing. Now, you might be watching this video and wondering, how can this apply to you? Like, how does this actually help you? Well, it's actually quite simple. You can get paid by connecting other companies with deals and get paid on the size of that deal. So for example, if you help my company land deals, we will give you a percentage of that deal size. But the point is, you can do this with lots of other different companies. And you don't just have to pick one. You can work with 5, 10, 15, or even 20, and you become what I call a high ticket appointment setter. You're simply connecting those companies with people who can buy their products and services, and you're going to get paid on the size of the deal. This is vastly different to just having a job in sales where you're working for one organization and you're just getting paid a base salary plus commission. Why not scale it so that you can work with lots of different companies? That's the way I see it. If I had found someone that could have done this for me over the last few years, I would have been able to scale my company far quicker and bigger than what it is today. But I know that there's a massive demand for people with this skill set. So what I've done is I've created a free course, which you can access by clicking the link in the description below this video. It's going to teach you how you can land appointments with companies and decision makers with a revenue of $500 million or more. So really big companies. And you're going to learn a few other things in there as well. I think there's a huge opportunity for people that learn this skill set. You can do it from anywhere in the world. You can just work on your laptop. You can even just work from your phone. You can work from the beach in Bali. You can work in Hong Kong, in the city. It doesn't matter. You can choose your location. You can work with multiple companies. And all you have to do is connect people with the right deals. As long as you have the drive and the ambition to be able to learn, and as long as you have enough social skills to be able to talk to people, you're going to be good to go. You don't have to spend hours and hours of time messaging people. You don't have to do any cold calling. You don't have to create heaps of content. There's a process that you can follow, which I reveal to you in the free course. So go ahead, check out the link in the description below this video. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.